Good morning. It's Wednesday, September 17th, 2014. This is Tech Talk Today, episode 59. My name is Chris, and joining me in studio is the ferocious Angela Fisher. Hello, Angela. Are you feeling ferocious today?
I don't know.
You look a little ferocious today. I like it. And that's good because our topics need a little veracity. And to help us dig through these topics is our assembled group of internet experts. Time-appropriate greetings, mumble citizens.
Whiskey.
Hello. Right in there. Nice, guys. All right, well, here's where we're going to start today because this is what all of the news outlets are talking about. The embargo has been lifted, and the official iPhone 6 reviews have hit the web. Now, the way these events work is when Apple has their big shindig, the keynote, a lot of the Apple-preferred press walk away from that keynote with a super secret new iPhone. In this case, everybody got an iPhone 6 and an iPhone 6 Plus. Apple embargoes these journalists until about this time. In fact, I believe this is one day earlier than traditional. And the reviews are hitting the web. We don't need to go through all of them, but I thought maybe we'd do just a brief meta review. And for those of you who haven't physically seen it, I'm going to just play a couple of clips here from The Verge's review.
Oh!
The only thing you really need to know about the iPhone 6 Plus is that it's a big iPhone. A really big iPhone. After years of mocking Samsung and others for putting out giant phones, Apple's finally caved to the clear demand for enormous screens. And it turns out that an iPhone with a huge screen is pretty great. The iPhone 6 Plus is enormous. Although it's a similar size to the Galaxy Note 3, it feels bigger than the Samsung when you hold it. It's taller and thinner, and getting your hand all the way around it isn't easy. Between the size and the slippery curved aluminum edges, I prefer using it in Apple's leather case. This might be the first iPhone that's better in a case, actually. I'm not a big fan of the weird antenna lines and protruding camera lens in the back of the phone, and a case hides all those things nicely. Of course, the reason this thing is so big is the 5.5-inch 1920 by 1080 Retina HD display, which looks fantastic. It's the highest pixel density screen Apple's ever shipped on a phone, and it's definitely brighter and sharper than the previous Retina displays.
All right, let's stop there. So, of course, Nilay basically says it's a great phone if you're an iPhone user and it's a pretty good smartphone. His end conclusion is we're going to need bigger hands. However, longtime Apple commentator John Gruber at daringfireball.net, his review wasn't quite as positive, surprisingly. I mean, overall, he seemed to like the device, but he ended saying, I have no desire to use an iPhone 6 Plus as my personal phone. I ordered an iPhone 6 for my own use. And if the iPhone 6 Plus were the only new iPhone this year, I probably would have stuck with the iPhone 5S.
Mm-hmm.
It's too big, he says.
Yeah,
it's too big.
I'm definitely not upgrading. That's for sure.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Not even to a slightly larger one?
No.
You don't want any bigger at all?
No.
Anybody in the mumble room have like a Note or a big phone, a phablet phone, or going to get the new iPhone 6?
My M8 is pretty big, but that's pushing it. I can't do anything larger than the M8.
What
it's
is
like
it?
4.8.
Oh, 4.8. Okay. Huh.
That's
Both my parents
huge for
have
me.
one of those 6-inch LG phablets, and they absolutely love them, even though neither of them have very big hands.
Well, okay. Apart from like all the weird sexual innuendo that was actually happening in those two clips you played, which you need to soundboard for forever because those were hilarious. I love like the form factor of the Note is actually my favorite size of phone. It's something I can't lose. You know, I'm serious, and so like. I think that like Apple has kind of made like a weird compromise, like, you know, they've kind of like, as you would say, like it kind of hit this uncanny valley that's like not quite their Note, but it's bigger or it's smaller than, and it's just not the Note. Okay, we didn't rip it off.
Right. I guess so. I had the Note for a while, and the one thing that I really thought that stood out about the Note, two things I noticed. Is I almost immediately stopped using my Nexus 7 once I got the Note because the difference between the Nexus 7 and the Note was so small that I didn't need a tablet and a phone. The phablet
Totally
was enough. So I could see a lot of people that would want to buy this who don't want to buy a tablet and a phone. They just want one device. That's this device. It's an iPad mini and a phone in one thing.
Well, and the price is so good on this, actually, you know, in comparison. Like, it's so competitive, I think, even with the Plus one, you know, in terms of the memory.
The big thing I noticed with the Note, though, that was really great if you're a commuter is there is nothing better than having a big screen for doing maps, like Waze or Google Maps.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It's really nice.
I just use the navigation in my car.
Yeah, but it's the car navigation compared to what smartphone apps can do now is like super jank.
See,
Yeah,
my thing was big. Sorry.
Go ahead, Riley.
My thing with big phones is like they're actually better in some ways in your pocket than smaller phones. Like, say longer phones, they don't like go to the side in your pocket as much, and It feels a lot bigger that way.
You just own that pocket. You just own it.
I was just gonna say, you know what they say about big phones, right?
Oh, yikes. Come on now.
Whoa now. Whoa.
So I don't know. I'm on the fence on a big phone like this. I think a lot of iPhone users are going to buy this thing and then regret it.
I'm going to have to piggyback on that comment.
Even with the camera, though, like, I mean, you guys use your cameras so much on your mobile. You know,
that'll be eventually, if I end up buying one, that'll be why. Because of the optical stimulation.
Seriously, that was pretty.
Stabilization.
That's totally a dark world that we've entered into.
But yeah, I think, and actually, the early reviews on the camera are particularly positive. David Pogue strapped a camera to his bike. He strapped the iPhone 5S to his bike, and then the 6 Plus, and you can see a huge difference in the video quality stabilization.
Oh, I thought you were going to say in the size of the phone.
Well, that too.
Because it's big. It's very big.
It is a very big,
large phone.
It is a very big and large phone. All right, any other conclusions on the iPhone topic?
Just don't forget to bang suggest chat room.
Oh yeah, don't forget. Okay, let's move on to Google then, and a little Android update. Google Play Services has been updated. Now, you guys probably have heard of Google Play Services. Just a brief reminder, you get a Google phone. We all know that Google really has not solved the update problems for Android, but sort of their half measure, maybe even a little more than a half step, is the Play Services. This is something they can push out to all different versions, I think back to 2.3, if I'm correct. And they enable a whole range of services across all Android devices that developers can write to, regardless of the core version of the Android, with some exceptions. So Google's begun rolling out Play Services 6.1 with a new set of APIs for developers. New features include enhanced e-commerce extensions for analytics, improved Drive support, and testing capabilities for the new Google Fit platform, their health tracking system. Enhanced e-commerce provides a richer insights into the pre-purchase shopping behavior of their users, i.e., you can watch what people are going to do before they make the purchase and if they bail.
Yeah.
Built into every Android phone, everybody. Yay.
That is crazy.
However, the Google Fit stuff's kind of cool.
Yeah, but yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, it does make you wonder, like, what are they going to use that data for? Because you can see how these Play Services API can be tweaked to be data collection things, right?
Tweaked? That's what they are. I mean, that's what they are.
I'm trying to be nice about it, but yeah, it does seem like that a little bit. I mean, I know it's not just that, but...
Well,
what makes this any different from what Apple's doing with their watch, for instance?
Totally.
Nothing, really. I think maybe Google might have announced theirs first. I don't know. I think they're kind of shipping it today because iOS 8 is shipping today. Right? And iOS 8 has HealthKit. So you got to so you announced this at Google I/O like a year ago or whatever it was, or June, whenever it was. It's about time to ship it now that iOS 8 is shipping and it's got HealthKit. So
negative in the freedom dimension.
Well, I'm not trying to bash on Google, but yeah, it's... Also, by the way, if you haven't seen it yet, Android Police has leaked screenshots of the new Google Play Store completely remade with that new material design. And there's a good article up right now about how a wrecking ball of design is going to be taken to the Google Play Store, and developers are going to have to reskin a lot of their apps to make it look right, which I think could be good. Yeah, I think that could be a really good thing.
I think me and Skooky Sprite are singing right now.
Oh, really?
I came like a wrecking ball.
All right, well, I got a wrecking ball. You ready for that? Patreon.com/today. Now, we did manage to pick up one new patron this week so far. One patron. It's a little disappointing, but I know, we just recently had a big push for merchandising, which maybe we'll get an update here in a second. But let me tell you about patreon.com/today. That's where I want you to go to help finance our future projects, our expansion. And one of the things we really want to accomplish with this Patreon is keeping things a little weird and a little independent here at the network. Like Angela and I are always trying to talk about, well, what are we going to do in 2015? That's like becoming up more and more now. We got some plans. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say what, but we're excited about them.
Yeah.
And these kinds of budget predictability, the kind of budget predictability that having this Patreon brings us, allows us to actually make real plans and not just, boy, wouldn't it be nice one day if we could? Now we can actually say, let's do this. Let's make it happen. And we can do it without having to bring on a bunch of new sponsors, and we can also do it knowing that the people we have to report to are you, because you are the boss directly. Patreon.com/today. Invest in all of the shows on the Jupiter Broadcasting Network, and we have different pledge levels, including a swag level.
Yeah.
Do we have any swag updates?
Nope.
Oh, okay. All right,
to be honest,
all right.
I'm working on the custom swag. I think there's 15 different custom swags.
Because that means there's 15 different countries you're sending them to? Can I say that?
No.
Oh, okay. I won't say that then. That's just a hint. It's just a hint. That doesn't mean that doesn't tell me anything.
Okay.
It's just a hint.
So I'm working on it.
It's a customized, and it was kind of delayed because I think Patreon was switching to a different billing system.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I was so ready to just rock that,
Right.
and then everything happened, and
Man.
yeah, I'm a little behind. But,
I wish this was a video show today, just because that look you gave me when I said that would have been so worth it. Like, I wish
Yeah.
people could have seen that. That was good, Ange. That was really good. All right, patreon.com/today. Go get in a little bit of that action and keep us going. And thanks so much to all of you out there, all 325 of you. Especially that newbie that joined us this week. Okay, a little more bad news from Microsoft. Boy, we got to start with Apple good news, a little mixed Google news, and now some bad Microsoft news. Round 2 of layoffs starting today, possibly tomorrow, from Microsoft. Another 13,000 employees, 13,000 employees were cut in July. Sorry, not to freak you out. 13,000. You ready for this, though? They still think they're going to go for a total of 18,000. So
5,000 more.
So this Thursday, September 18th, I think the next round will drop. This is coming from Mary Jo Foley over on the ZDNet blog. And they'll say internally it'll come out. It might not be public until next week. The cuts will come across every group at the company.
Microsoft Armageddon. You know, did you hear? Zen Floater on G Plus posted to me this morning saying this was directed at me, that Microsoft cut off GNU Linux Minecraft already, but I wasn't able to click on the article to see if it was legit.
No, that doesn't sound legit. I think that would be a huge story.
Yeah,
He was trolled.
You're trolling.
Oh no, I wasn't.
They just know
trolled.
you're a Minecraft
No,
player.
I wasn't trolled. I just.
You're like, whatever. I'm rubber.
Like,
it bounces off me.
You know. Oh my gosh.
All right. How about some good news? You want some good news, guys?
Yeah.
Docker. You all know about Docker, the container software.
pants?
They just know. And that's
What?
Dockers. That's Dockers. They just raised another 40 million bones. We've already covered in Tech Talk today a fundraiser. Check this out. Docker Inc., the lead commercial sponsor behind the open source Docker container technology, today announced it has closed 40 million in Series C of funding. The new round of funding comes on the heels of Docker 1.0. The Series C round of funding is the second funding event for Docker in 2014. In January, they announced a $15 million funding round. The latest funding round brings Docker's total funding since it started to $66 million. So obviously the market thinks there's something here. The CEO of Docker said that Docker has now just begun spending their Series A funding they originally got, and they're already in their Series C. So they really want to be able to tap into their funds. They say, we closed the Series C preemptively so we could have full powder to go after the market opportunity.
What? They said powder?
A
They
full
said powder.
a full powdered keg. I just don't like that saying, so I cut it short.
Kaboom.
Why do they need this money? I mean, aren't they like part of Red Hat? I thought Red Hat
No.
bought them.
Nope.
this
Just a
point.
partnership. They're a separate company. They
Well, I mean, like, you know.
I believe they see Docker as the future of pretty much all server software deployments on Linux for
As
the
well
most
they
part.
should.
So I think they're a little fired up, and the market seems to be responding. I mean, another $40 million after having raised just money back in January for another.
They've only been around for like a year and like a month and a half or something.
People
like that.
are lining up.
It's a transformative technology. But
People are lining up to give them money before they've even had a chance to spend their first round of funding.
That's crazy.
That's
Wow.
amazing, and it really shows you
Send them
they've
to
hit
me.
something there. Talk about timing.
We should tell them about patreon.com/today.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, there we go.
We've actually given them quite a bit of coverage. We had the founders of Docker on when it was just a brand new project nobody'd heard of.
Oh, get them back on.
We probably
Producers.
could. We probably
Producers.
could.
Okay, working on it.
All right, our last story today. Did you ever think you'd hear that your ebook reader could be hacked by a book itself?
Huh.
Turns out, yep, Amazon Kindle vulnerability lets hackers take over your account
In a book?
by a book. It's in a book. It's a reading exploit.
That's great.
Don't take my word
Very
for
well.
it.
Oh, man. So here we go. The Amazon Kindle has been found vulnerable to a type of malware that is triggered by downloading an ebook with a booby trap. Security researcher Benjamin Daniel Musler has demonstrated a proof-of-concept attack that uses a cross-site scripting vulnerability to infect a computer opening a side-loaded title containing code, i.e., if you bought the book from Amazon, it's probably not going to be a problem, but if you sideload your ebooks, which a lot of us do, a lot of us just get like free ebooks or something like that and put it on our Kindle, there is a way to have, I guess, some cross-site scripting code in there that could actually take over your Amazon account.
This is profound. This is the cost of free.
I don't understand how
It's
that
a
works,
cost of
though.
piracy.
Like, do you have to be on a specific page for the virus to activate?
Probably.
You have to read to page 49. No,
Yeah.
42.
That would be the
The answer's 42.
if you don't put it on page 1, you're a bad hacker. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're missing a whole demographic.
Yeah. Because I don't think most of us get too far into the book. Isn't this weird though that an ebook reader can be taken over by an
No.
ebook? Doesn't this? To me, an ebook seems like it should be this innate text.
It's a Trojan horse. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
In the
all it
immortal
is.
words of Matt Hartley, if it executes
I
code.
could just see Richard Stallman laughing right now.
That's true.
Hasn't EPUB recently allowed you to run JavaScript in it, or is that just my brain thinking that?
It's
I imagine
negative
this
in
is
the
actually
freedom
probably
dimension.
just a side effect of, like you said, like it's actually of all the multimedia aspects that they've
Yeah.
been trying to
Yep.
cram into the format for forever, and
Yeah.
so bam, look, it calls its little friend and bam,
Yeah, exactly.
your own
Because you want to be able to pull in images from the web, maybe even a video clip or a
totally
sound file.
updated content from
Yeah. Yep.
more recent.
Or get definitions even of things like that. And so when you add these features.
Like what a virus is.
Yeah.
So wait, if it's on like an ebook reader, then what are they getting from
The Kindle,
that?
well, they're getting you access to your Amazon account.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Totally,
Yeah.
Right.
that's the
That
point.
makes sense.
And that's much more valuable, right?
Yeah.
And
Super valuable.
what I don't like about it, I mean, this is not too surprising for any of us, really. But what I don't like about it is this continued reinforcement that, well, if you would just buy from the sanctioned, approved, safe store that we've set up for you, you wouldn't have this problem.
Yeah.
Because that's how it is with iPhones and Android phones. Like, you hear all the time about this Android malware, and then, like, the next sentence is, if you have side-loaded apps turned on, right? And then, like, now here with the Kindle, you're like, yeah, you can have your Amazon taken over by reading an ebook if you've side-loaded the ebook. And it's like, come on, can we just work
absolutely
this
right.
out? Because
Right.
we, as end users, need this feature. We need this flexibility in our digital devices, especially as they become more locked down and connect to these ecosystems and part of their overall market strategy. Like, we need the ability to be able to sideload this stuff so that way we're not victim to their corporate whims, and these devices have much longer longevity because sideloading could much outlast, maybe like at some point Amazon will kill off a certain support level of Kindles, and those users will no longer be able to buy from the store. But if they can sideload, they can still use that device as long as it turns on. But these manufacturers can see this as a justification for killing it.
Wait,
They
so
don't just
like
see it as a justification. This is the entire. This is.
Well,
it's not just.
we
a
need to
part of
protect
their
our
marketing
users.
Platform. It is their marketing.
It's our
platform.
responsibility to our end users to protect them from these kinds of problems, and we've tried to make the sideloading work.
Collar, and we have to keep them safe.
So is
I'm buying.
sideloading? It's bypassing the an official store and just
Yeah.
like going to angelafisher.com and
Well,
downloading her book. And
That would
putting
be
it on
one
there?
way, like if you wanted to. It's really painful to do that on the Kindle, but like even just like connecting to your computer and copying over like the USB connection or something like that. Or you can like email a book to a Kindle. Like each Kindle has or there's ways to, there's
Okay.
lots of ways to get them on there, but
Right.
they could shut that down.
And I'm surprised that they've even let. In terms of the Kindle platform, I'm totally shocked that they've let people still actually, connect to their computer and load books that they have on their computer directly onto their device. Still,
I'm not surprised. It basically.
what do you
know-
mean? It's how they make their money is by enslaving you. Sorry, it's just the truth of it.
Yeah, but
QRMS.
what I'm saying is that I'm not surprised, because they're basically saying if you do this, it's at your own risk. It's not our
Right.
deal.
Well,
Yeah.
but we already knew that. I mean, because it's not like it's easy to actually do it. They haven't made it easy
Well,
by any.
here's my argument. I don't expect Amazon, Google, or anybody to protect me from my own brain. I can think.
No,
and
but you
do what I need
but
to do.
they
I don't
expect
need
to
them to
own
keep me
you.
safe.
Right. See, what I worry about is this is sort of the impetus they would need to say, and not this particular instance, but things like this are the impetus they need to say, well, we tried to
agree
keep
more.
we tried to keep sideloading working for you because we know you wanted it, but really
Those pesky hackers.
And
they have
as-
to protect you.
as our Kindle platform has grown and we have more users than ever, we have a new responsibility to protect all users.
Oh, by the way, let's delete all your copies of 1984. Oops, I'm sorry. That didn't happen. Forget about that.
Nobody pay attention to this.
Freedom dimension.
All right. Any other thoughts, Andrews? Anything else we want to?
No, I don't think so.
So Angie and I are talking about doing a makeup episode on Friday for yesterday's episode of Tech Talk Today. So you can join us Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific, jblive.tv, noon Eastern, for a special Friday with Angie and I. And Mumble Room, you're invited as well. So
Yeah.
join us so that way we'll make up for that episode we missed. Okay, so let's wrap it up right there. Don't forget techtalktoday.reddit.com. That's where you would go to submit a story or leave comments or just kind of give an idea of what you like seeing covered in the show. JupiterBroadcasting.com/contact is where you can send feedback in. And join us every morning if you can. We'd love to see you here live, and you get to help title the show. So we talked about big phones. We talked about the cost of these phones a little bit. I wanted to look back, from time to time. I like to go back into the 80s and look at what big phones were like back then for a little bit of perspective. So I'll leave you with an old Radio Shack commercial. See you tomorrow, everybody.
Go where you wanna go, call when you wanna call. Get the lowest price ever at Radio Shack on the most powerful transportable cellular phone system. Just $7.99 when you sign up with Radio Shack's authorized cellular phone carrier. Go where you wanna go. There's nothing else to buy, and it's ready to go wherever you go. Call when you wanna call. Use in your car, or go portable and take it along. Radio Shack's complete transportable cellular phone system. Just $7.99 only at Radio Shack.